Hey everybody, it is 1:40 in the afternoon and doing a little midday update, which I rarely do only because there's a lot of confusion out there. And start off to going back to early in the morning here, where 8 o'clock, 8:15, we had the ADP employment change. It was 278,000 while it was only expected to be 170,000. This is bad. This is very bad because it means that, like we had the JOLTS job report yesterday, which created the downfall because there are too many job openings, back over 10 million. 278,000 versus 170,000 when you have the jobs report coming out tomorrow, the non farm payrolls, and you had the initial jobless claims 232,000, lower than expected of the 235,000, then followed by the S&P manufacturing PMI missing, and then you had your oil inventories of a 4.48 million surplus versus the 1.5 million downfall. And you've got your crude oil up 3.82% on the day on an inventory build. None of this stuff will ever make sense to anybody, but I will show you here, going over to our spreads. 41.8303 are open, and with the safe edge 42.21, which is, as I've said many times before, unreliable. We're better off trading the charts. It's been blown out, as well as the plus 1% level. And, there's days when these things are going to come around. Like shown you here on SPY, right? Here's your yesterday. You're dropped down because of your JOLTS jobs report, or your JOLTS job openings came out right at 10 o'clock in the morning, or 9:30, 9:45. Overnight, we just chopped around, went nowhere, come into the opening bell, open, get a little bit of a dip, and then out of absolutely nowhere, a straight line to the upside. Come over onto your QQQ, gray shaded area being your after hours or your pre market. Come in just to what's going on there with yesterday, overnight, doing nothing, absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing. And bam, straight up into the air on bad news. Come on to your VIX, and your VIX with your gap down overnight, looking at it with an overnight gap down, holding over here on this 17 very well, and then immediately, right at the open, after the open, as I posted there in the alert room, a massive sell down on the VIX in dump mode. Absolutely no fear in the market. We are down here almost to the year to date lows at 1553. We are almost down there to where we were back on May the 1st. And the only reason I bring it up is because, like I shared there in the room, on May the 1st, we had absolutely no news whatsoever. 1 day later, we were down 100 points from our highs from the day of May 1st. Now, the other day when we came down there, again, like I was showing you, was there on May 13th. Come over here onto a 30-day. May 13th, we came down below into this level below 16. Sorry, date is wrong. That is on May the 19th. And again, come over here onto May the 19th. The day we hit 42.13. Took a couple of days, but then you go into the Wednesday of the week following because this was on OPEX Friday. 41.04 is where we made it down to. So basically down 110 points, but it did take a couple of days. And that was the day when Jerome Powell spoke, on that day when we went to 42.13. Today, we have nothing but bad news. And here you go, again, having shared that detail about the beginning of every month and using the data going back as far as it's applicable, back to the October lows. February 1st, FOMC day, we had that big run up, first day that we went really over 4,100. Then the very next day, we went to 41.95, and everybody knows what happened after that. We had to drop all the way down to 38.08. Took a month. Here we are, and it's very obviously frustrating for more than just one or two people. Looking on the SPX again, had your little bit of a dip down here, and then all of a sudden come to resistance 41.88.79. Looked as if it worked out. Had your little dip, then you had your reversal, and you can see there is a gap on this 1 minute candle here where all of a sudden the algo kicked in. We went to that 41.98.70, held it very strongly, held it very good, but you couldn't see any action coming out of the VIX. And after that, decided that, you know what, the EU is closed, there's nothing going on. Let's just go ahead and dry fist everybody. Here we are up at very, very close to our highs of the year. So why don't we zoom out a little bit and see where exactly we are? And here is what we have with our full moon that we know about falling there at that 40.48. This one as well falling there, and we're coming into our full moon, which will be this weekend on Saturday, and there's absolutely very little discussion as to whether or not it's at a high or a low, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see the chart pattern that we are in. So again, nothing really to go and add, but nothing to pull away from this other than today is an algo day. It's an algo day. They're going to come every now and then. And I'll be doing one-on-one calls all day tomorrow. And anybody who needs help, give me a call.